and I are seeing what is happening. Abia,
let's talk about
Abia is now is on the front burner. People are discussing Abia State, and that is inspiring us to do more. To do it, we've not even come anywhere close to where we should be. So nobody is celebrating and we are there. No, we are not there. But the truth is that we have the commitment, we have the sincerity, we have the passion, we have the motivation to do what is right to develop our state. Because for years there have been a negative reference point. So we want to write that.
Let's talk about those that are employed, because you mentioned that while you were trying to explain the issue of tax, and the issue of wage award has dominated discussions in recent times, and we know that the governor himself equally pointed out that something is in the offing, and the big question is how long will it take for this to be implemented? Because when there is money in the hands of Abians, they are equally going to utilize the same, go to the markets, solve their problems. That as well will affect the IGR, and basically everything in the state will breathe that fresh air.
Okay, well, it will happen very soon.
How soon?
It will happen very, very soon. Very soon. You know, yes, federal government talked about wage award. They were the ones that came up with that wage award. However, it's a component unit of the federation. But then we have our peculiar cases. We have our own vision. We have our own plans. If you decide to do wage award, I don't know. The question is the sustainability measure there? So our governor is thinking about these things critically. He's been meeting with NUP, National Union of Pensioners, Abia State Charter, regularly. The leadership, he has been meeting with them regularly. Regularly, when I say regularly, I mean regularly. You understand? So it is not a tea party. It is putting heads together. How do we solve this problem? Don't forget that pensioners are being paid half pension, which was what we met on ground and what we we don't come here to lie. We tell you the way it is. We want to bring that to an end because it's an embarrassment. And you have years of arrears that have not been paid. So everybody is cracking their head to ensure we bring this to an end, and that is what the governor is discussing with the NUP. Where there is need for sacrifices, of course. So you want to clear the arrears and now begin to pay full monthly pensions, which is what it should be. The governor doesn't want to be associated with the mediocre practice of half payment of pension. And that is why we're expediting action to ensure that we bring that to an end. So,
Ferdinand, interestingly, you've taken me to my next question, which I think we have to simply jump on the train before it debates us. You have mentioned that of the pension arrears and all of that. The governor had said prior to the end of the year 2023, by December, that will be a thing of the past. It will be of distant memory. However, that's not the case. He still came out and he told Abians, look, I understand your frustration. This is still what I want to do. By the first quarter of 2024, this will happen. Ferdinand, today is the 15th of March. 16 days from today, we're going to be saying goodbye to March and March into April. With the pensioners still believing, how feasible is that promise? And is it going to be full pay? What's going to be the modality? Clearing the backlog of pension and then having to pay them full? Or is it going to continue the trend of half payment?
No, but I had already answered that before.
That was in principle.
I had already
you have the opportunity to
I had already answered that. I said immediately this is done, the arrears are cleared.
Which is about by the end of March.
Yes. We strongly, because we've gone far. It's like I said, we'll be meeting with them. We've gone very far. And that was why after the governor did his New Year broadcast, he followed it up with action, and everybody knew, and the facts are there, understood why that 31st December didn't happen. Okay, and that is why we are on meeting with them, and the resources have been made available anyway. You understand? So
you are beaming in confidence that
I am.
By the end of the month, the pensioners are going to be smiling.
Absolutely. So that is where we are now. And I said immediately after the arrears are cleared, the full payment will commence. That is the position of the governor. And we also know, because it's important we say, that there are some pensioners who have been omitted. I mean, in terms of the regular payment of their pension, one way or the other, because people call me and have a few cases, but they have been treated with speed. You understand? So, because I'm not happy when I encounter that such calls or such messages, I feel very angry, because a promise is like a covenant. The type we entered into, the type we made is like a covenant, and you must fulfill it. So, and everybody knows that the economy is in shambles at the moment. The economy is in tatters. So every kobo matters. Like our people say, penny wego. So whatever a pensioner is earning must be paid to the person. So you need to condition your mind, and that's where we want to get to, so that you know that if I'm a pensioner, by 28th of this every month or whatever date, that this my pension statutory is coming. So you will not, that is what, not this one, you won't be able to predict whether you are going to be paid or not, whether you are going to be paid full or half. This is an error we want to erase. And people must see through the sincerity of the governor, understand we are taking these things bit by bit. There are many areas that are in a state of decay and absolute collapse. We will not understand.
Okay.
But we are not interested in dwelling on what happened in the past. We want to make progress.
We are closing in on our first break on the executive feedback this morning on the floor of Gatson State, obviously, alongside our sister stations, Love FM 99.9 FM and Sun FM, Iberia 91.3 FM. But before we get to that point, Ferdinand, let's still talk about those in the civil service. It's rife, well documented of the plan of the governor to overhaul the civil service system, which he took drastic measures upon assumption of office, and he laid down his marker. But whether or not they were viable or going to be productive in the long run remains to be seen. But we know that the verification process was one of the things which was bettered by the current administration. 9 months down the line, there are still people who have been verified and are yet to receive anything in terms of salaries. Are you privy to such information? And what is the government doing to sort out the issues of these people, as well as to ensure that the difficulties which is out and about on the streets is not giving them a sucker punch?
So that was what I was discussing a few minutes ago before I came to this. That's 1 hour ago before I came to this place. I was discussing with somebody very strategic, playing very strategic role, trying to resolve this problem. There are many factors which I had chronicled here in the past, but the most important thing is that we are not taking these things for granted, and the government is doing everything humanly possible to ensure that these issues are resolved.
What are the approaches which have been imbibed so far?
One of the approaches is to set the details, because, for example, there were people that you would discover that because of one problem or the other, maybe account details or BVN or whatever. And it's also important to say there are people who, not as a result of their own problem. For example, there was somebody that was telling me, a woman telling me she was being paid until December. She wasn't paid. January she wasn't paid. So she asked her to furnish me with her details. A teacher in Abia, she furnished me with her details. So I started engaging because she said she had been verified. So I didn't need to take it to the verification committee or the anchor person I used that's part of the verification committee. So I took it straight to the accountant general. I said, this woman has been verified, and look at her details, look at her verification number, look at everything. The woman supplied me with everything. So I sent it to the accountant general. Few days later, the accountant general sent it back to me and said the woman has not been verified. Said she has not been verified.
When she said she had been verified.
Now, I now asked the woman to come to Omaya, to go to Omaya, and the accountant general said the details, the name, the woman's name, the verification code does not bear her name. The photograph, everything was wrong. So when the woman now came to Omaya and all the details were brought out for her, we showed her the name that appeared here, the verification code is not carrying her name, everything. That was when she now told me that she discovered the fault came from their own end. They have forgotten the name of the man in charge of collecting the teacher's details when they collected it. So the person, the head, whatever, supplied another person's details in her place. So because when they put the verification code at the picture of another woman, the account details, everything, details of another person appeared. But she was being paid because of the instruction the governor got, and because there was a time before the Christmas, the governor said no, he wouldn't want any story. This is Christmas, it's a very sensitive period. Verified or not verified, people should be paid. So that was why. So she continued to earn until this month. They now stopped. She was actually paid December, it was January that she wasn't paid. So that was what led to now another process of verification that has started. So a lot of issues are involved. It's only when you move in, they begin to check these things that you discover. But there are some of them, I must tell you, which of course we are working on, who not because they have any problem, and I strongly believe so, but the most important thing, we are need to ensure that anybody that has been verified has no issue, that such a problem is resolved. There are also persons who said they have their verification code is saying invalid. So that's another problem that we are also confronting to ensure whatever led to the invalidity. It's corrected.
Is that Ferdinand Ekoma promising those who are having issues in terms of
they're already on. It's not a promise. The thing is already on.
Whatever their challenge will be resolved by the government. And
absolutely.
Because to some, I'm sure you've been hearing the narrative that they've been retrenched or been sent home by government in principle based on how this is all panning out, which is the reason the government should come out clean in trying to ensure that these things are done rightly so, and these persons get to receive what is their entitlement.
Of course, our position is very clear and unambiguous. This is the government that will wake up and say it's retrenching workers, especially at a time like this. But the right thing must be done to put our institutions in order.
All right. So